Today I'm going to reveal you the most powerful AI tools that we can use to scan the market directly without us having to go one by one looking at the assets and reading the reports. And let me tell you that this makes life so easier, and since I've been using it, my profits have gone skyrocket. First one is obviously ChatGPT or DeepSeek. In this case I'm on ChatGPT right now because it's the one that I most use, but DeepSeek has the same functionality and we could use it as well without any problems. But obviously ChatGPT is an AI that is made basically to respond all type of questions, and in this case we want it to go on the financial side. So what we need to do first is to ask him to put himself in a professional trader role. Okay, once we do that, he'll assume that he's a professional trader, and then is when we can start asking more in deep questions, like I could say, like, what are good stocks to buy right now? And he'll do his own research based on all the analysis that we would normally do, looking at reports, looking at the stock, looking at price action, and you'll take it all out. As we can see, we've got the first one here, CVC's health performance. Health has been shown robust performance with a 50% increase in 2025. Philip Morris International, Cencora, Amazon, Intuit, and probably they are all quite good stocks to buy. And this is why I love it, because basically I don't need to do my own scan. I can just ask him and filter some of the results. Or maybe obviously some results are always going to be a bit meh, because at the end of the day it's still something that is quite green. You know that right at the moment it's still a bit green, but at the end of the day it will save us tons of time by researching. And as well, we can ask him anything about it. Like I say just now, it was a simple question: what are good stocks to buy now? But we could get full analysis on any stock, and it will probably search for information that we personally would have never found. The second one that I love to use is Lunar Crush. Lunar Crush, what it does is a complete research on any stocks. Like I say, first of all with ChatGPT, because we can even combine both, we could say that he searches for the best stocks, and then we could perhaps take this stock here and search it in here. In this case I'm looking at Bitcoin right now because it was what I was actually looking at, but we could search for any stock or any asset, any crypto, any pair, forex pair or anything, and it will show up here. And the best of here that it doesn't only just normal research, it goes through Reddit, it goes through content creators, it goes through the community, it goes through everything to search for the engagement or to see how volatile it can be in the next day. So as you can see right at the minute, we are on 76,000 and it's showing us to buy. Okay, why isn't it showing us to buy? Because all these are going okay. So alt rank right at the moment, if we click on here, we'll be able to see the alt rank, how it's working out. We can put on the galaxy score. Me personally, I don't use these much. What I normally use are the mentions and the creators. Why? I'll show you in a minute. If we click on mentions, it's basically the mentions that Bitcoin has had through the internet. Okay, so if I click on here, we can see how the mentions started to go up, okay, before it flew high up to 70,000. You can see how the mentions went up here, and then price started to gather up. And even funnily enough, well, you can see that how the mentions they came down to normal again. Bitcoin was more or less at 70,000 when it came back down. Mentions went up again, as we see here, price flew up again, and then the mentions started to drop again. People weren't talking too much about it, and when they started to talk about it again, it's when it started to crumble down completely. We can as well see that creators, if we want to put them on, we can see how content creators have been talking about this asset, and when basically they've been talking about it and they have literally moved the market in sort of ways. You can see how we can find some confluences just by watching how many mentions and how many creators are talking about this asset. And I think this is great because at the end of the day, just with a quick look, we can see how things are going. But we've got as well sentiment, social dominance. We can see how social dominance dropped quite long here. Me personally, like I say, I don't use these too much. What I mostly use is the trading volume, but obviously I don't see this normally here. I normally see it in CoinMarketCap. But especially what I look at is the mentions and the creators, because at the end of the day, the content creators and the people in forums and all that mentioning Bitcoin, you know, as the more people are talking about it, normally the assets tend to drop, because like I say, when everybody is buying, it's when it's going to fall. Same as happened, as I said a few months back when it was at 100,000. I said it was probably going to drop, and guess what? It dropped again. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you get something out of it, and obviously it helps you out in your day-by-day analysis. I hope you're all good, and I'll see you next time.